fog, Wilson. It's thick as old gravy, isn't it? I wonder if that llama knows where the good building wood grows. Remember that first fire? It lit up the mist like 1,000 clumsy candles. Gee, this downpour is making everything feel soggy, like a pile of wet biscuits. Look at that fox. He seems as unimpressed by the rain as I am. Now this sheet of grey sky feels like a giant hand trying to wash the color right out of everything. I suppose I should get the roof on this hut before the whole thing turns into a sodden mess. Last night's dream, Wilson. It was the morning I found that bird skeleton on the eastern shelf. It lay out like a promise of flight. All the bones spread perfect on the damp stone. I sat down right there, not daring to breathe too loud, just watching the way the wet sand caught the pale dawn light. Then, I found a bit of smooth driftwood and carved a tiny, almost invisible knot into the corner of the little memorial I built for the lost parcels. It's a secret mark, just for me, a whisper only the tide knows about. Brilliant sunshine paints the jungle floor like spilled honey, and that fox just eyed my makeshift tool belt like it held the last roast chicken. Crimson stars are pricking the black velvet canvas above us tonight. The ocean whispers like a sleeping giant just beyond the reef. Stars blaze like spilled glitter across the black cloth tonight. The sea breathing sounds like a lullaby meant just for us. By the splintered remains of this beach, my knees feel like they've been filled with wet sand. Wilson, I swear these poor legs have decided to stage a little protest right now. Blast this miserable muck. The island itself is actively laughing at my plight. Wilson, I will wrestle this suffocating earth into submission. Just watch me. Over this tangled mess of vines, I slipped through like a nimble river spirit. Look at that pig. It seems quite impressed with my escape artistry. Damp air hangs heavy. Wilson, this fog feels like breathing in wet wool, making everything look like a faded watercolor painting. If I stack enough of these signal stones high enough, Wilson, a passing captain will surely mistake it for a proper beacon. Surely this relentless drizzle will never quit. Wilson, I should probably drag some more thatch up here before we both catch a chill. Ah, I slid out of that tangle like a champion wrestler escaping the ropes. Isn't that a view for you, old friend? Nate's blanket is so deep tonight, Wilson. It feels like the whole world is holding its breath just for us. Blast this accursed dirt. I'm wedged tighter than a bad coin in a crevice, Wilson. It's a personal affront from the very ground beneath my feet. This soil has clamped down on me like a jealous lover's grip, Wilson. I swear I hear the jungle roots marking my efforts. I am clawing out of this muddy grave. You hear me? A garden, flowers. We are practically fancy now. The islands coming up in the world. Remember that time I found that iridescent shell? One that catches the sunset light just right. I was tracing its spirals on the wet sand, thinking about the sheer miles it must have traveled to get here. Then, out beyond the reef, I heard that low, deep whistle, like a giant sigh shaking the water. Suddenly, the water parted, and for just a breath, I saw a single, enormous eye looking right back at me, deep and knowing. It was like the whole ocean itself had finally nodded hello. Wonder if this little hog can even wiggle free. This whole patch of earth seems determined to keep everything trapped down here. Look at this ball. It stares at me like I'm some kind of grand, fascinating puzzle. Wilson, does it think I'm going to build a fancier dwelling than it? Grey curtain descends. This steady rain makes my bones ache with a familiar, seaside melancholy. Seems this poor swine is caught fast. I'll have to dig his stubborn earth around him loose. Rain makes the air feel thick. Wilson, I swear it's trying to wash away all the paint I put on this lovely little jetty. Brutal drizzle beads on the broad leaves. Even the little boar seems to be struggling against the mud now. Trolley, this chicken is stuck solid. I suppose I'll have to excavate him from this stubborn patch of earth. Darn it all. I've become more ensnared than a fishing net in a mangrove root. Wilson, I shall power through this sticky mess. Ah, look at this feathered critic. You think you've seen struggle, little guy. Sunshine warms my skin like a forgotten blanket. Wilson, perfect day for stacking these nice, neat piles of driftwood. This ground is like solid petrified molasses. Wilson, I feel like my very souls have filed a formal complaint against this entire miserable patch of earth. I will claw out of this muck like a barnacle from a sunken collar. Surely this frozen earth is determined to claim me like some sluggish, icy beast. I swear I'll tear myself out of this glacial prison. Wilson. Remember the day I first saw the tide pulling back, like a giant's slow breath? Everything was exposed, all the washed up junk. I thought I'd seen it all out there, just rotting wood and shells, nothing worth keeping. Then, near the high reach of the reef, I spotted a piece of faded blue canvas flapping alone. It was so bright against the dark sand, almost mocking how empty everything else felt. I walked over to it, just breathing in the salt tang clinging to the weave, and felt a little bit of the old rhythm return. Blonde patches glow beneath the moonlight. Look at that big, gentle cow just grazing over there. Wilson. Starlight spills down like scattered handfuls of glitter tonight. Wilson. It makes me feel like a king building his tiny, perfect little kingdom. Felt the llama nudge my boot right here. Wilson, you know, I keep thinking this island is finally turning into something proper, something that feels like home. By the gods, I'm caught like a moth in a spider's nightshade web. I shall wrench myself free of this accursed patch of dirt. Wilson. Amazing how the stars hang out like spilled handfuls of phosphorus tonight. Wilson. They make the jungle canopy look like a velvet ceiling. Look at this perfect little platform. Wilson. Maybe a bit of W. Sparsi would help me carve that grandest beacon for it. Oh, the sheer audacity of this dirt to resist.